Coming to you from sunny California and the Great White North. Get ready. We are breaking down the obstacles on the Armchair Ninja Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Armchair Ninja Podcast. It is Thursday, October 24th, 2019. My name is Rich, and joining me once again this week is Bijan. How you making out?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's a good week. It's a good, nice, fresh start to the week, and lots to talk about this week.
It's a fantastic week! Let's get this rolling, man. I'm hyped.
That's right. We have two special guests with us this week. We have the CEO of UNX Now, Mr. Jeff Piejak, joining us. How you doing, Jeff?
Hey, yo. How you doing? Real good.
I'm doing great. And we have a second guest from UNX Now, top-level ninja athlete, Ethan Swanson. Very excited to have you on the podcast with us, Ethan. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. This is awesome to be a part of it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we wanted to have you on for a while. We're a little slack in asking ninjas to join us, to be honest. It's like, it's a lot, right? Especially when we're covering the season. So in the off season, it's always nice to have you guys join us and to let us know what's going on, because A&W may only run through the summer, but ninja's a year-round sport now, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's been that way for a couple of years now. You got NNL, UNA, ABG. I feel like there's a new league every other month that pops up, which is awesome. More opportunities to train.
Oh, yeah. So fun. I mean, just in the regional circuit alone, you have like so many things, as you brought up. And it really, it's a way of life for a lot of people. It's fitness. And not only that, it's kind of like community, right?
Oh, big time. I mean, any competition I go to, half the reason I go is to hang out with all the weirdos that I don't get to see very often. And when I first started A&W, I would get to see them once a year, twice a year. And now I get to see them so much more frequently, which is it's special.
Well, you've been doing a lot of recruiting into your area. It seems like a lot of the East Coast people are moving your way.
Yeah, Jeff and I have been stealing a lot of the East Coasters, Jesse Lebrecht, Chris DeGangi, Michael Torres, and the East Coasters remind me of that every time I'm out there.
Yeah, I think I heard Chris Wilczewski giving you a hard time on his podcast about stealing everybody.
Yeah, it's all in good fun. I mean, we like to think there's great opportunities for them. And I mean, nowadays there are more opportunities for ninjas to make a living being ninjas, that's the dream. Live your dreams, your passion as your work. And that's what we've been able to do. And thanks to actually Jeff with Ultimate Ninjas and now with UNX Now as well.
Right. So let's get into that. So we gave kind of our high-level view of what we thought it was. We kind of end up having more questions ourselves than answers. So it's an online streaming network for Ninja, but it also seems to be kind of a league of its own. Jeff, can you kind of give us an overview of what it is?
Yeah, so we basically started UNX. I would say Ethan and I have been bantering for about 2 years on the state of ninja and where we thought it belonged in the sports world. And we kept landing on, a professional sport. And we, instead of trying to fill arenas and seats, we took the approach of trying to get as many eyeballs on UNX as possible through this professional league. With that professional league, we've also are about to roll out a whole platform that basically encompasses all things ninja. So what you're seeing is version 1, which is kind of the OTT channel itself. Secondarily, within the next week, we'll be releasing a general UNX website that will encompass a home workout system, that will encompass, rankings and UNA and AWG and NNL information. So something that the casual viewer can go to before they want to dive deeper into the platform.
Well, that's really cool. So you are tying in the other leagues. That was kind of one of my main questions, was how does the UNX channel and the OTT tie in with UNAA and NNL?
Yeah, and one of our big, really reaching goals is a product of the Ninja marketplace right now. And as you guys are probably very familiar, it's really fragmented. You have all these different leagues, and some of them stream, some of them don't. Are they on Facebook, YouTube? What event page is it on? And I find myself, I have a hard time, if I want to watch an event, I have a hard time finding where that event is and how to watch it sometimes. And the thought is, if I feel like I'm as deep in the ninja community as somebody can be, if I have a hard time finding it, then it's going to be very difficult for the casual viewer to find it, even if they know to look for it, which I feel like a lot of them don't. So one of our bigger reaching goals is to have a lot more Ninja content, not just UNX, the league, but other Ninja content from other leagues and other competitions available on a single platform where it's easier for the casual viewer of Ninja to access, easier for them to find information, to find, how do I watch this? How do I go compete? Where do I compete? Where can I train in one place? Now that obviously a lot easier said than done. And there are a lot of steps along the way to make that happen. But that's one of the big things that we really would love to do with UNX Now.
Just going into one thing that really piqued my interest was the fact that you guys mentioned that there's going to be home workouts, like fitness type things, for particularly at home. So for somebody that might be interested in actually like competing in ANW one day, or again for me, but not necessarily doesn't have any Ninja Warrior gyms kind of within like an hour drive radius, like what type of home fitness things are we talking about? Is it like a really extensive, like really good workout? Is it just like, hey, here's some squats and push-ups? Like, what are we talking about with that?
Yeah, I'll let Ethan take that. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. One of the things that we're currently developing right now is a Ninja bar system that you can get in your home to be able to do that. And you brought up a great point is, Ninja's growing and gyms are popping up all over the place, but it's still hard for a very large majority of people to get to some of those gyms. There's some of them are spread out a lot. And I hear a lot of times when I go to events, hey, how do I get involved? There's no Ninja gym near me. And it's tough if there's no Ninja gym near you. I mean, some of the obstacles nowadays are getting so crazy. If you can't train obstacles, good luck, But so we're developing a system that we think like a bar system that would be in your home that would be, not as good as a Ninja gym, but would be amazing to be able to, have in your living room, in your basement, and would have, different things that you can work on, a little bit better than just a pull-up bar where you're hanging holds from, but obviously not at the level of a Ninja gym. But in addition to that, having pro ninjas, teaching people how to work out on the system and how to get not only a good workout, but also learn a lot of Ninja basics to advanced level techniques and build strength.
That's awesome, man.
And it's called Ulti Fit At Home. Am I saying that right?
Yeah. And just to add to what we call Ulti Fit At Home, we've pretty much for the last 2 years have developed a program with two personal trainers that have combined 20 years of experience, Brian Redard and Tori Clement. They basically teach our UltiFit classes in our gyms to adults, to ninjas on a daily basis. And so this is pretty much a hybrid of that workout, only on a bar system. And like Ethan said, you'll be able to log in and play the workout of the day, whether or not that's Jesse Lebrecht or Drew Dreschel or Jesse Graff that's conducting that workout. It'll be about an 18 to 20 minute workout that'll focus more on strength, than obviously, big laches. This bar system is projected to be about 7 by 7 by 7. We're in development right now with one of the most prominent designers of Ninja obstacles in the nation, if not the world. So it's going to be a pretty cool system. And I'll just end on, when I was growing up, Ninja wasn't around. So I'm a little bit older than you guys probably. But, I played basketball and I left the basketball practice every day, came home, did my homework, ate some dinner and ran back outside and shot baskets. Right. So not only is this for the person that can't reach a Ninja gym, but we've got kids, adults that are just chomping at the bit to, have their parents bust up their basement and build a whole Ninja gym in their basement. Well, this is hopefully going to be a savior to some parents and their drywall. So,
right. And so what I gathered also was that the individual workouts, the 18 to 20 minute workouts are going to be available with the membership to UNX Now, but the bar system and accessories are sold separately. Does that sum it up?
This is, is about as good an example. It's a terrible example because we are nowhere in any way, shape, or form comparing ourselves to Peloton, but it's almost a Peloton type workout where you can go into the video library and choose a workout based on your skill set based on, if you're a beginner or an advanced, interested party. But yeah, it would basically be you buy the bar system separately. It's going to be easy to assemble, but we'll have, contractors around the country that will identify to help come in and assemble it if you need it to be assembled. But essentially something, where you can work out on that system on a daily basis, but the workout will be different every day.
Dope.
That's really interesting. So for those of us that are not athletes and that are really into just watching Ninja more so than competing, looking at UNX Now, you've got two major plans, right? You've got the free plan and you've got the $5.99 per month plan. I did sign up and I was checking it out, and from what I could kind of gather, and I do encourage everyone to do that, by the way. It's totally free, very easy to sign up. Go check it out. But I was a little confused by the system because it seemed to imply you'd get 1 month of the premium for free, or was I misunderstanding that? Can you explain the 1 month portion?
Yeah. So you're exactly right. There's two levels. There's a subscription based and there's free. And doing the free, just you toss in your email and you get limited content for free. But then if you do subscription, it's $5.99 a month, just like you said, and you get access to all the content on there. Right now, if you sign up for the subscription, you get the first 30 days free. So you don't have to pay anything for the first 30 days. If you don't like it, you can always unsubscribe and never pay a dime. But we want people to get a feel for, all the content that we had available. So 30 days free if you subscribe, felt right for people to understand what's involved and what you can actually get access to on the site.
Cool. I have to say, so I looked at some of the runs, so you can see full runs from the latest competition. Seems to be the limiting factor on the free one, right? I can see pretty much every individual run from the last competition, but not the ones prior to that. The one thing that really seems to be missing, I guess the big difference from a layman's perspective, is the UNX Fast Forward. Can you kind of talk about what that is?
Yeah, that's it's kind of like our, for lack of a better term, sports center, where me and Chris DeGangi will break down action from qualifiers and talk about the athletes and the course, ninja killers, and show highlights and just kind of, try to have fun with all the crazy things that you guys know happen in ninja all the time. Right now, we're focusing on UNX as we're firming up relationships with other leagues. But, we'd like for that to evolve into, we're talking about, other things that are happening in ninja, in other leagues, in other finals events, and potentially even more than that. But yeah, that's kind of like our breakdown of everything ninja on a daily basis, Monday through Friday. And it's only meant to be like a 10-minute, video of me and DeGangi going through that and showing clips and stuff like that too. But yeah, that's what Fast Forward is.
That's cool.
I'll just add, DeGangi being on it adds a lot of credibility with the two faces between Swanson and DeGangi, right?
Oh, DeGangi's awesome.
I mean, we keep bringing this name up, but I have no idea who Chris DeGangi is. I've heard this name before, but I believe it's LeBrec's boyfriend or fiance now, right? Like, that's his new name.
Yeah,
that's right.
I was referencing his good looks. So.
Oh, yeah, I'm not the most attractive man on that show, that's for sure.
Some other commentators I saw thrown around was that you had Grant McCartney and Evan Dollard. Is that for the finals competitions, or?
Yeah, so we're trying something a little different with, this is a long answer, but trying something a little different with UNX. And so we have our 4 qualifiers that lead up to each of 3 major events, and those are all going to be broadcast live. You're going to be able to stream those live, and when we do the live events, we'll have Grant and Evan doing the commentating for those. And they're, a lot more exciting than me and Chris. Grant and Evan are amazing. And then when we get to our championship at the end of the year, they'll be doing the live commentating for that one as well. We'd love to get it to a point where our dream is to build it even more so that in each season of UNX, we have 8 major events and then the championship, where the 8 major events are like the season of ninja. One of my favorite things and most horrifying things about ninja is if I make one little mistake, that's it. It's so exciting, but at the same time, some of the best ninjas overall will make a little slip and their entire year is over. So we still want some of that, but over the course of an entire season, of 3 majors and hopefully in the future more than that, we still will find the best athletes that will go to the championship. And then at the championship, of course, anything can happen, but we want the best people to get there, and not make a mistake in city qualifying and then they're out for the entire season.
Yeah, that's exciting, man. In particular, we keep bringing up the competitions and everything. I can't stress how much, having amazing hosts and or commentators, so to speak. You brought up Grant McCartney and all these charismatic people that really, when you really think about it, can really add to the visual and entertainment aspect of these things. So in terms of production values, in terms of watching it, I mean, this is going to be some really, really entertaining stuff.
Yeah, we hope so. And especially Grant and Evan, they both have competed for many years, and they not only are extremely entertaining and are a lot more articulate than I am, but they know this stuff. They know why athletes are doing the things they're doing. And when they see an athlete do something crazy, they know why that paid off or why that wasn't good, and just being able to explain that to casual viewers, I think is really, really important, so we're really, really excited to have those two on board.
Yeah, they're fantastic. And they have big personalities, but there's some other big personalities that have been announced as part of this league that I got to bring up here. So we've got Drew Dreschel, Daniel Gill, Jesse Lebrecht, and Jesse Graff all confirmed to be competing and featured this season. We've seen, I got to bring it up. There's a little bit of shade being thrown around the ninja community in the last few weeks. So we saw a little bit of trash talk from one of the other leagues about special treatment of the known ninjas. So will these guys be getting competing in the open qualifiers with everyone else, or is there any kind of shortcuts for them?
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, because any feedback, positive or negative, is very welcome. And I'm sure that we're going to do things that, some people don't like or don't agree with. And we're going to make mistakes, and we're going to try to do our best to evolve and listen to the community and make adjustments when necessary. But the idea behind, those 4 athletes are called our guaranteed athletes for the first season. And what that means is that they go straight to each of the majors without having to qualify based on their performance up to this point. And I think that's the key phrase, is based on their performances. What we want is every season. So going into season 2, we're going to have guaranteed athletes again for season 2, but it's going to be based off of 100% of which athletes do the best in the championship. And so that's what we want, is we want to have athletes that are, one of the unfortunate things about ninja right now is that there aren't professional athletes, and that athletes don't get paid to compete. So a lot of the best ninjas don't travel around and compete and go to these events, and you don't really see, guys like Lance Pekas or Jody Avila or Josh Salinas, and those 3 guys are absolute monsters. And if I'm competing against any one of them, I'm going, crap, I have to beat this guy. We just don't see them compete because they have to do, they have other jobs, they have other priorities, in expenses are a real thing. So what we wanted to reward the best athletes consistently by, hey, if you prove you're the best, then you're guaranteed into certain levels. Now, everyone has to get into the championship. No one gets a free pass to the championship. But even this season, we have 2 levels of guaranteed athletes. Those 4, Jesse, Drew, and Daniel. But then also we have our first major event on November 2nd, and the top 3 men and top 3 women from that event are going to they're going to auto qualify into the second major event. So it's purely based off of performance. So, we hope that, basing it off of performance and not just hand selecting certain ninjas, that's our goal, is to make it so that we can have actual professional athletes that the best of the best, can compete more regularly,
Mm-hmm. And let's be real. I mean, it's people talking to a void of just, really just sounding petty. One thing that I really, really want to highlight and what you're saying, and really for all the leagues, because it kind of annoys me when I hear people like, oh, we're a sport, blah, 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 everybody else, blah, is you are talking about, when it comes to the championships, when you're talking about qualifying, like the things that really, really matter, that's all fair. It's even playing field. Nobody's getting preferential treatment when it comes to the actual thing.
Well, I agree with you, but what's really interesting is we've done a ton of research on existing sports out there, and what the system that we have with guaranteed athletes is actually more impartial than even like, let's say, tennis. At Wimbledon, their world championships, 16 of their spots there are wild card spots that they describe as spots that they will select whoever they want to go based on who they think will get the most excitement around who's involved. And you look at golf, they do very similar things in selecting certain athletes to be involved based on whatever factors they feel like are necessary. And I mean, those are just two examples, but those are two of the most prominent individual sports, not team-based sports that are out there. And, I've heard, some of the criticism has been, oh, well, that's not real sports. Like, well, look at some of the biggest sports in the world that are out there, and they actually go more on even further than we are in selecting some people that they determine they just want there,
Yeah.
Oh, you answered that so much better than even I hoped. So thank you. Thank you so much for that. Huge relief. All right. So prize money, talk about real sports. This is some real prize money going here too. So what I see here, the live championship is February 15th, and you're going to award $75,000 in prize money. Is that correct?
That is correct across our season. So, I mean, talking about, how do we incentivize the best ninjas to keep competing? And yeah, of course, the championship is where we want the best to go, but we also want the best to go to each major to earn their way to the championship. So it's $75,000 in prize money across the three majors and the championship. So it's $18,000 at each of the three majors, and then $21,000 at the championship, split evenly between men and women. But I mean, if you want the best to go, you gotta incentivize them. You gotta reward them for crushing it like they always do,
Yeah, and I have to say, so I actually watched Kyle Schulze's specifically because I am a huge fan of his.
Who is it?
yeah, he's amazing and absolutely crushing it at Alternate Routes, I think it was. The video from that is the best I've seen from any league. So if you guys have seen, like, I'm not going to put down any of the leagues because there's been some fantastic video out there, but I have to say UNX Now has got the video down pat. Who's doing that? Like, how is that coming about?
Yeah, so like I said early on, we took our time and tried to find the best partners for UNX, and we hired our COO, is a guy by the name of Howard Bolter, who's launched everything from Survivor to Seinfeld to the Sarah Palin Network. So, he's a veteran in the industry, and he happened to have a working relationship with Echo Entertainment. Echo Entertainment is the producer of the X Games, Winter Olympics, World Surf League, Poker Go. So Echo, in terms of action sports, I don't think there's anyone better in the world. In fact, they travel the world to film on behalf of, obviously, American-based companies, but also international companies. So Echo is our producer of UNX and is doing a fantastic job. Ethan is becoming very familiar with the Echo team on a almost hourly basis, trying to put everything together because it takes a lot to not only film it, but take it back and edit it. And I can't wait for our first major coming up in November 2nd, which will be live, and Echo is going to have, the whole kit and caboodle there, the truck, the satellite, the sideline reporters. You got Grant and Evan, and that's going to be quite a treat to watch and also actually view, days later in its edited form.
Wow. And one more time, when is the date for the first major?
November 2nd.
November 2nd. All
Yep.
right. Mark down the calendars, everyone.
Yep. Saturday. It's going to take place in Naperville, Illinois. As I mentioned before, our goal is to eventually get to venues with larger seating, whether they're convention centers or actual arenas. But we really wanted to start with the consumer in mind that's watching from the phone or the television or the iPad versus, having to concentrate on the actual experience within the facility that, as you guys probably are aware, those are hundreds of thousands of dollars in terms of a commitment. And we thought it was money well spent to bring the show on the road to everybody watching around the country, and for that matter, around the world.
As somebody who's very far from a lot of these ninja events, I actually very much appreciate that.
Yeah, and I just want to add too, our plans don't stop at at the national level. We have international aspirations to involve athletes from around the world. We're in process right now of being able to accept currencies through our portal that are difficult to do. American currency's the easiest one, but if you start to go after different countries and different currencies, it becomes a little bit more difficult to do online. But that's in the process as well.
So, are you also, if I understand correctly, are you saying there's going to be international competitors? I understand you're saying like international viewers, but competitors also?
That's the aspiration. For right now, we're not saying no to any national competitors, and we actually have had a handful already competing at some of the qualifiers, which has been amazing. But we'd like to implement in the future, ways for international athletes to qualify for major events and for a championship in their home countries, outside of the United States. But for right now, anybody's welcome, but we're not going outside of the United States for some of the competitions just yet.
Yeah, and just to add to that, we talked about the guaranteed athletes or the exempt athletes. Sometimes when an international athlete comes in and they want to come to a major or a qualifier, I think the world, if not the nation, would welcome them as, we do in other sports. So that's another example of, being able to bring this in to, bring other countries into the fold as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just off the bat, just going off of international and things like that. Actually, never mind. I was about to make a whole thing for like, hey, McCartney, all that stuff. But hey, that's in the future, y'all. I was like, I can tell you guys who I want to see in the show.
Man, that would be amazing.
Dude, oh my God. Yeah, that's dream status right there.
I also just want to quickly plug, the groundswell of activity that's happening in Ninja with kids. We have some plans. We're not ready to talk about them yet, but we will shortly, to involve kids and teenagers in this channel as well. As you guys all know, Ninja gyms are popping up around the country, and the ones that we own and operate are probably 80 to 90%, kids between the ages of 6 and, right now 15, because they're 15 because they started doing Ninja when they were 12 and they're continuing to age. So we recognize that there's a huge population of kids that are interested in UNX and what we're doing. And we also recognize that we need to appeal to those types of individuals as well.
Fantastic point. I mean, when you really think about it, that's probably the largest A&W audience, or just Ninja Warrior audience in general. And if you think about the potential when it comes to competitions, or just, just fun seeing their friends or whoever rise in terms of the ranks and everything. I mean, this can really be big. Obviously, you're going to want, the parental blah, 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 the permission and everything. I'm a children's librarian. I am very astute in all that. But with that comes the potential of some really, really fun stuff. I mean, look at A&W Junior alone. That's some great television right there. So, great point. And thank you for bringing that up. And I'm very much looking forward to all that, because, the Ninja Warriors, like the people that are well known, they're big. But when you really think about like the growth of College and Ninja Warrior and A&W Junior, that's huge.
Yeah, I mean, Ethan can speak to it better than me because he's taught in the gyms. But there's kids that I think Ethan fears.
Oh man, there's a lot of them. But no, I mean, they're kids that have been doing Ninja as long, if not longer, than I have, and they can't compete on American Ninja Warrior yet, and that's the goal and the aspiration of, I feel like, any kid that is training right now. So there are other things that are offered that they can compete in that are great, but yeah, I mean, the more that we can add to that, the more we can encourage these kids who are already monsters to keep competing and to aspire to great moments, to winning different leagues and championships. I think just the better off Ninja's going to be, because I see some of these kids and what they're doing, and I literally have thought many, many times, like in a couple of years, I'm going to be so irrelevant. It's hilarious. These kids are doing crazy, crazy things, and I'm going to be pushed out very soon, I'm sure.
Well, it's funny because we tend to talk about ninjas as to their original backgrounds, right? This one was a rock climber, or this guy did parkour, or she was a pole vaulter or a gymnast. These kids are all just ninjas. Like they don't have other sports. This is what they do.
Yeah, it's so true. So true. I mean, we've had our gyms, Ultimate Ninjas, for 3 years, and there are gyms that have been open for 6-7 years, and these kids have been there the entire time. It's so amazing what they can do. I can't wait to see them get older and get, competing at such a high level. And that's why with UNX, we have 13 and up is our age range. And, we don't have different age divisions. It's just men's pro and women's pro. But already we've seen some of these young kids take qualifying spots, take top 3 spots and podium over some American Ninja Warrior women that have been competing for years. And you see what they're able to do, and it's exciting and frightening at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And going off of that, for basically my final question is, I wanted to hear just what has been the response in your guys' perspective in terms of both the Ninja Warrior athletes around the world and also just the audience around the world, like the community and all the fans. Like, what's the excitement been like?
It's been very exciting. I mean, we've been, like Jeff said, I know he said 2 years, but it's actually been 2.5 years since we've been working on this. And I joke, like, in the shadows, because we wanted to do it and we wanted to do it right. So there was so much time where I couldn't talk about this. I didn't talk about this with like my closest friends in the ninja community because I didn't want word getting out. And then a year later, it hasn't happened yet. And people go, well, all right, well, Ethan's all talk, and they're not really doing anything. So we finally released it. It's so exciting to be able to share it with everyone. But the reception has been amazing. The more competitions we've had, and we just had our 4th one this past weekend at Sean Bryan's secret gym, not so secret anymore, Traverse Fitness on the West Coast. And as we have more and more, I get more athletes in the community reaching out and telling me how excited they are for it. Granted, I'm sure they're, not everyone's sharing with me their negative feedback, and I'd love to hear it. But I think people are just excited to see. I feel like Jeff has said, we put together a really good team, not only of ninjas, me, Krista Ganji, Jesse, Drew, Daniel, and a few others, but also people outside of the ninja community that I think are essential to take this to a professional level. So that's a very long answer, but we've been hearing a lot of great things, and we've just gotten started, and we've got a lot of other things we're planning that we're excited to roll out as well, but it's been great so far.
Oh, it's great to hear. So we're excited to support UNX Now going forward. How can people follow you? What should people be doing after they leave this podcast? Once they hit stop, where should they be going?
Yeah, I mean, so you can view all the content, and new content's being released every day at unxnow.com. And like we said earlier, there's a 30-day free trial, so you don't have to pay anything to check it out, and you can cancel at any time. And then if you want to check out even some of our social media, we're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and you can check us out at all those places. Just type in UNX Now, you'll find us. But yeah, I mean, there'll be more and more pieces of content, more and more videos every week. So hopefully people check it out and eat it up and give us feedback and enjoy it. But we're certainly having a great time putting all this together.
Yeah, and I'll just add, what you're viewing right now is kind of the portal to get into the subscriber base. And what I mentioned earlier on is in about a week, we'll unveil the general website, which will be more encompassing and a little bit more, kind of all inclusive. And then if you want to dive deeper, you'll be able to go into UNX Now through the general website.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Ethan, for joining us. Very exciting stuff. We'll be following it for a while now, and we'll be reporting back on how things develop and how the championship goes.
Thanks for having us, guys. This is a lot of fun.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right. So if you would like to reach out to me, you can reach me as rich@ninjapodcast.com. I am at Ninja Podcast on both Instagram and Twitter. And Bijan, how can they reach you?
This is my favorite part where I get to railroad the podcast
I
and make
knew you were
Rich
going to
hate
do
me.
it today.
So I really want to thank Ethan and Jeff for coming on. You guys are amazing. You guys answered so many really important questions that a lot of the Ninja Warrior community had. So thank you guys so much for your time and everything. Guys, check out UNX Now. Check out the website. Show the Armchair Ninja podcast love. Give them a try, because we've talked so much about supporting the Ninja Warrior community, in particular in the off-season, the regional circuits, everything. UNX Now is like the future of that. This sounds so exciting. They have all of the top ninjas, and not only that, a really important entertainment factor for it, which I've always said is so important. So it sounds like it's going to be really, really fun times, and I'm so excited to hear everything that you guys have coming to the future. I'm going to be on board the whole entire way. How's that for a plug, y'all? So, hit me up at Twitter and Instagram at Bijan151. That is Bijan 151. Peace and love, y'all. And Chris Janji, I love you, man.
All right. Thank you all so much for listening, and have a wonderful week.